Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host of the Racing for the Climate broadcast show, Nicki Shields.
Hello and welcome to Racing for the Climate and the second round of the RCCO World EX Championship. Now, World EX is the only place that you can see 22 of the best esport and professional racing drivers go head to head in one of the most intense versions of virtual racing. But this series has one clear mission, and that is to help combat climate change. So do make sure you go online to find out more about how you can help.
This man from Denmark wrote history last time out at Silverstone. Lasse Sorensen is gonna win from Jørgen Simoncic. Lasse Sorensen became the first overall winner of an EX Prix, defeating esports racer Jørgen Simoncic in a super tight super final. Sorensen was a surprise winner as the pro racing driver from the real world was able to beat one of the world's fastest esports racers in the first ever EX Prix. Sorensen is racing for TK9 eSpeed, a new esports team founded by Le Mans record winner Tom Kristensen just a few days before the first World EX round. Sorensen has thus already secured his ticket for the World Championship finale on the Nürburgring Nordschleife in November. Martin Stefanko from Williams Esports completed the podium in the British EX Prix, which saw drivers from 6 different teams reaching the final of the best 6. But World EX is not only about battles on the track. All competitors of the forward-thinking format are racing for the climate. For every race lap completed, the official hashtag Racing for the Climate jackpot will automatically be increased by €10. 112 laps were completed by the 22 drivers at Silverstone, which means €1,120 were added to the jackpot. At the end of the season, the world champion decides which climate conservation project the jackpot will be devoted to. Via well-known platforms like GoFundMe, sponsors and fans will be able to top up the jackpot with donations and thus actively contribute to climate protection.
Now in the studio with me today, you might have noticed that I have this rather amazing Audi e-tron Vision Gran Turismo alongside me. This spectacular car has 815 horsepower and 1,450 kilos in weight, which works out to a power to weight ratio of 1.78 kilos per horsepower. It has 3 electric motors, e-tron Quattro all-wheel drive, and goes from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in less than 2.5 seconds. Pretty amazing. And this particular one belongs to Formula E driver and World EX team Nianco founder Nico Müller. And it was his championship-winning car from the hashtag Race Home series, a series that was all about helping those in need during COVID-19. And it served as Nico's entry into the world of esports.
RCCO Esport AG created the RCCO World EX Championship with the aim of combining action-packed racing with entertainment and the message of sustainability. Something co-founders Mike Rockenfeller and Thomas Vogt kind of did already last year when they ran the hashtag Racehome charity racing series during the first COVID-19 lockdown. DTM and Formula E star Nico Müller clinched the hashtag Racehome title.
Yeah, what a pleasure to see my championship-winning race home car again. It's been my first steps there in the world of sim racing and esports, and to come away with a championship win is obviously always great. And that's what kind of motivated me to build my own team, and we created Nianco together with my partners, my drivers, and I'm super proud and happy, to have them on board, and we look forward to a great future in this sport.
Müller trying to get to grips with the powerful EX0.
I've discovered the car lately at home in practice on my simulator, and it's really enjoyable, really cool to push it to the limit. The car behavior with its four-wheel drive and the 1,000 horsepower is super exciting, and I can't wait to race it.
Unfortunately, the hashtag Racehome champion will also miss today's second World EX round because of testing commitments in Formula E, but he is fully committed to the series.
I'm busy here at Dragon Penske Autosport preparing for the Formula E race in Rome, which is coming up. So we want to be 100% ready for the challenge. I hope you guys understand and you cross fingers for me. I'm crossing my fingers for you guys. Wish you guys great racing on the beautiful track of Sebring, and I'm looking forward to see you all soon.
We've put Nico's championship-winning e-tron from last year into our virtual studio today. And there is a souvenir from #RaceHome up for grabs. A limited edition PlayStation signed by Nico Muller, Rene Rast, Robin Freins, Loic Duval, Mike Rockenfeller and Jamie Green.
In addition to some of the world's greatest esports racing, the focus of World EX is climate change. And well, everyone can help out, so make sure you check us out online to see more information about our fight against climate change and how you can actually contribute to our GoFundMe jackpot that will then be donated to a climate change charity by our champion driver at the end of this series. Now, onto the cars that you're going to be seeing on track today. The EX0, the first electric car specifically developed for esports racing, and I'm very happy to say that it's here in the studio with me. It has a top speed of up to 384 kilometers per hour with a power to weight ratio of 1,000 horsepower to 1,000 kilograms. Now, the EX0 has a battery capacity of 85 kilowatt per hour, a four-wheel drive and two-gear sequential gearbox. It goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 2.3 seconds. It truly is a remarkable car to race for all of our drivers. Now, there have been a few changes to today's lineup, so let's get the latest news from World EX.
Some of the permanent, real-world racing drivers will miss today's EX Prix of the United States, including Romain Grosjean. The R8G esports team owner and driver is preparing for his debut in the IndyCar Series. China's Yifei Yi also has clashing commitments. Nevertheless, World EX will see the first participation from a Chinese driver today, as Absolute Racing has signed James Yu to sub for Yi at Sebring. The 19-year-old from Shanghai has been racing in the F3 Asia Championship and will soon unveil his real-world racing program for this season. Every Second Counts is the title of a new film released by ABD Sportsline. The technology partner of the RCCO World EX Championship is celebrating 125 years in 2021. The company was founded in April 1896 as a blacksmith of the old days and has since developed in ABD Sportsline, the world's largest automotive aftermarket and performance parts specialist for Audi and Volkswagen. It is one of the most successful international motorsport teams and an innovative electromobility pioneer, and thus a perfect fit for World EX. The RCCO Esports Series has become the first virtual racing series to be officially acknowledged as a feeder and qualifying series for the World EX Championship. RCCO Esport AG is working on launching national and regional EX series run by franchise partners, which will allow esports racers to qualify for World EX events. World EX co-founder Mike Rockenfeller will be on the grid himself today, with the aim of getting some first-hand insights competing in World EX. For his one-off appearance, the DTM champion and Le Mans winner will be joined by André Dietzel, a former competitor in the RCCO slot car series and head of motorsport communications at Volkswagen. The two EX0s are entered by TV Racing, the most successful slot car team in the RCCO history. The team is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year, sporting a colourful livery and racing as Electrified Flamingos.
Now in the studio, I'm very happy to say that I've been joined by the World EX co-founder, Mike Rockenfeller, and multi-time sports car champion and 24 Hours of Le Mans winner, Patrick Long. Guys, brilliant to have you here in the studio. Welcome. Patrick, I know it's been a bit of an early start for you. I think it's about 4:30 a.m. where you are, so thank you so much. Tell us about why it's been so important for you joining the World EX Championship and having a team, Patrick Long Esports.
Well, first of all, I think the organization is well ahead of the curve in understanding what the future of motorsport will bookend. I think there will still be combustion traditional racing, but esports is on an upward trajectory that we've all seen and come to love. I've done a little bit of driving myself, not quite as handy behind the wheel on the esports as I am in the regular day occurrences for Porsche, but I love the sort of match racing format. It's a lot like the Race of Champions, and I think the youth want to see that instantaneous result and the bar bracket racing. So lots to look forward to, and of course the evolution of thinking about racing for the climate and sustainable racing. It really hits a lot of the marks, and we're excited to have a team in this championship.
Absolutely. Although now you and Mike actually go back, I think Mike said that you raced together over 18 years ago, which that's quite a long time ago. Impressive, let's just say. But you're actually not going head to head because, of course, you're taking role as the team manager at the moment. But Mike, you are racing for the first time today in the World EX Championship. Are the nerves kicking in?
Well, yes and no, to be honest. I think I have no chance, really. I don't have enough time. It's similar to Patrick, when you have 3 kids at home, there is a lot of other stuff to do, but I really enjoy it. I mean, I developed the car. We are still not finished with that, but I think we make step-by-step good improvements. And, I just love to see those guys racing, and I love to see Patrick, being involved. We know each other for, such a long time, as you mentioned. I think I got a little gray. I
mean, when I came to Porsche, Mike was the young guy with the bright blue eyes and ready to take on the world. And now he's got a lot to stand up against, a lot of youth that's coming for him. So now he'll be fine. Total pro, no judgment from me, Mike. I know how difficult this racing is, but something tells me you had a little bit to do with the development of this car. So we're expecting great things from you.
Patrick, thank you so much. And once again, thank you for getting up at the crack of dawn to be with us here today. Good luck for the team. And Mike, I'm sure we'll catch up with you a little bit later as well. Thanks, guys. Now it's time to have a look at some of the 0 facts about our host country, the United States of America. As the 3rd largest country in the world by area behind Canada and Russia, the total area is around 9.8 million square kilometers. Now, that is 3 times the size of India, but it has a population of about 330 million. Now, the USA is still the world's largest economy in terms of gross domestic product. And when it comes to climate change, compared to 2005 levels, the US reduced emissions by 21.5% by 2020. Now, in February, the United States officially rejoined the Paris Climate Agreement, and last week, US President Biden announced a virtual summit on climate that he'll host later this month. Now, the USA is expected to announce an ambitious 2030 emissions target of a reduction of 50%, and several states are already pioneers in California, Vermont, and Massachusetts. Now, the USA is home to many innovative companies, including, of course, SpaceX, the first private space flight company to carry astronauts to the International Space Station. Waymo, which began as the Google self-driving car project, and micromobility provider Lime from San Francisco that offers shared electric scooters, bikes and mopeds for us all to enjoy. Now it's time to go and have a look at our track with Mike Rockenfeller.
Today we are in Sebring, Florida, one of the toughest racetracks in the world, the 12 Hours of Sebring, well known. It's really hard for the material and the drivers for sure. And that's why we are so happy to be here for the 2nd round of our World EX Championship. And now I take you on board to explain you a little more about the track. Now we are on start-finish, starting the lap in Sebring. It's very bumpy, you can see that already on the old airfield here on the first straightaway. Corner 1, very fast, bumpy as well, exit especially. And now braking for corner 3, easy to lock up. Nice little section here, braking corner 5 and trying already to be on the gas very early to carry all the speed. That was not great, to be honest. And now we are on the straightaway here, braking for 7, very good opportunity to have overtaking possibilities. Now you can feel the power and the 4-wheel drive on the exit. out of 7. Now we are approaching corner 10. Very nice corner as well, easy to overshoot, which I did a little bit. Now this part here is flat out, going for 13, very nice corner. Again, I overshoot, should focus a bit more here. Now we are getting close to corner 15A. After this flat out section, carry all the speed here, take some curb, and now very important to get good exit and take all the speed on the back straight, because now we are approaching for 17. Really wild corner, also a good possibility to outbrake somebody after the long straightaway. And you see how bumpy that one is here, especially under the bridge again. And now back on power, go close to the wall, and we are back on start finish, and that was a lap in Sebring. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed the show.
Now, World EX has a very unique format, and well, there have been a few small changes ahead of today's race. So let's break down how our drivers get from qualifying all the way to becoming today's race champion.
World EX has a unique format with a the winner takes it all approach, and pro racing drivers from the real racing world competing with some of the planet's fastest esports racers. 10 events are scheduled for Season 1. 10 permanent teams are racing for the climate and the World Championship titles. Each team has 2 drivers, 1 pro from the real racing world and 1 esports racer. Every EX Prix has 6 levels and a total of 17 short rallycross inspired races. Level 1 is the qualifying. The 20 drivers of the 10 teams go head to head in 10 races over just 1 lap. The Level 1 pairings are decided by one of the 10 teams, while a fan vote on Twitter defines which of the drivers will start from pole. So head to Twitter next time to vote for your favourite driver. The 10 winners of the qualifying races proceed directly to Level 3, the quarter-finals. Level 2 is the last chance for all those drivers that were defeated in Level 1. They are challenged by 2 ambitious wildcard drivers who will have the advantage of starting from the front row of the grid. Will they be able to make the cut? The top 3 pro racing drivers and the top 3 esports racers from the last chance race will proceed to Level 3, the quarter-finals. The pro racing drivers are competing in quarter-final 1, the esports racers in quarter-final 2. The top 6 drivers of each quarter-final move up to Level 4, so don't be last or second last. Level 4, it's getting tougher. Only the top 3 drivers of each semi-final will proceed to Level 5, the final. Now, it's time to mix the fastest pro racing drivers with the fastest esports racers. The pros will start from the inside, the esports racers from the outside. The winner will secure the pole for Level 6, the Super Final. He or she will be joined by the best placed driver from the other group, so watch out for a race within the race. The Super Final is a 1-lap head-to-head battle which decides the overall winner of the EX Prix. All event winners qualify for the final shootout, which will decide the Drivers' World Champion on the famous Nürburgring Nordschleife. Who will get the ticket for the Green Hell today?
In race control today, keeping an eye on the drivers, we have race director Manuel Wendell, supported by Jimmy Allison and Ruben Carrera Alves from Studio 397. Now, it's that time. Let's go racing.
This is Level 1, the qualifying. And before we get it underway, we check out the weather in Sebring, Florida, USA. Clear conditions, 23 degrees, as Fabrice Cornelis and Andre Dietzel go head-to-head.
Andre, how are you feeling about the race?
I will give my best, for sure.
Good luck. And Fabrice?
Yeah, it's a lot. So the rig is very tricky, especially in the start. So let's see where we end up.
All right, good luck, guys.
The electrified flamingo of TV racing and Andre Dietzel with the inside line going into turn number 1, the left-hander, but hanging it all the way around the outside on this concrete section of the Sebring circuit. Very good effort there from Fabrice Cornelis to try and get on terms with Andre Dietzel. who leads currently. We're on board now with Fabrice Cornelis, just looking at every opportunity to try and provoke a small mistake from Andre Dietzel so that he can go through. And there you can see the mix of surface that the drivers have to contend with. Some concrete, some tarmac. And again, the WRT driver trying to hang around the outside. He's really putting the pressure on Andre Dietzel here. Andre driving for TV Racing, who we are delighted to welcome as the 10th team here in Sebring. Teaming up, of course, with Mike Rockenfeller. More about him in due course, because this is compelling. As wherever Fabrice Cornelis tries to put a move on Andre Dietzel, he is being denied as Andre sticks his elbows out and makes his electrified Flamingo EX0 twice its natural width. Oh, almost a touch there from Fabrice Cornelis. The double apex sunset bend then, and Fabrice puts it to the inside but carries too much speed. He's sideways. It means Andre Dietzel will win that Q race, and what a race that was.
Yes.
Good race.
Have you been putting in all the practice, Kelvin?
I'm a big esports fan, so actually I spend a lot of time on here. It's like my second office here. The first office, obviously, my race car, and this is my second office, so should be all right.
Alan, what are your expectations? Have you got a good feeling about this? Can you beat Kelvin?
I think it will be an easy one for him. I got a late call from Nico to drive here, so I'm just the reserve one.
So it's a battle of the reserves. So
yeah.
It's all good.
Oh.
But I think you're a better sim reserve than me.
Lovely banter between the two of them. Alain Valente and Kelvin van der Linde go head-to-head, level 1. And this is Q2, the WRT driver Kelvin van der Linde then. Hugely successful South African driver. Brother, of course, to Sheldon. Kelvin this year making his debut in the DTM. Alain Valente, though, is no slouch, of course. McLaren development driver, but for the moment, Kelvin van der Linde is able to show him a clean pair of heels. So come on, Kelvin, give him a bit of a hand here, can you?
Come on, Alan, where are you, mate? Push a bit there.
Well, I suppose that's the best we can ask for. Kelvin trying to give some encouragement to Alain Valente in his pursuit of him. So the Nianco Esports driver Alain Valente doing his level best, but with a margin of 5, nearly 6 seconds between the VW Sirocco R Cup champion from many years ago, Kelvin van der Linde, went on to win, of course, 2 GT Masters championships, one of which with one Mr. René Rast did Kelvin, who heads towards the Sunset Bend now, just one of the 17 challenging turns here at Sebring, to take victory for WRT, which becomes even greater as Alain Valente picks up a jump start time penalty, we're told.
Well, Kelvin, it looks like you've wrapped this one up nice and easy.
I told you it will be easy for you.
Yeah. It's a first round, Nicki, so it's nice and smooth so far, but obviously a long way still to go, so let's see how we progress later on.
Mike, how are you feeling about your first time racing in the World EX Championship?
I'm super nervous. I mean, luckily I race against a guy who doesn't know what he's doing, so maybe I have a chance. I don't know, but no. What I saw last race, I think last event, I have no chance. But I try my best. I enjoy.
I mean, he is the boss, so I have to handle him well, I guess. So I have to treat him like a king in this race.
Well, good luck to both of you.
Thank you, Nicki.
Some lovely light-hearted banter between Lasse Sorensen and Mike Rockenfeller. Mike Rockenfeller here to get some real racing experience of the World EX Championship. Of course, one of the founders of this great series, being chased down by the victor from Silverstone, Lasse Sorensen. Now, did he jump the start? A 5-second time penalty for Lasse Sorensen for jumping the start. So Mike Rockenfeller leads on track and in terms of time as well.
It's almost half a lap.
Yeah, you're still in the lead.
That's a good start, Mike. Can you stay out in front?
Well, I try my best. But I fear that I'm not
I'm really actually stressed out, so
You don't look stressed, Mike.
I'm blocking as much as I can.
Yeah, certainly you are making that EX0 car very wide.
Come on, Lasse, don't make it easy for Mike.
I'm trying to put some
thought you were a
sweat on
quick
his.
driver.
Oh, we got him now.
Oh, come on. Yeah, but then, you know, that's all tactics.
Yeah. Now you have the slipstream, right?
That's at least what I'm trying for. But I need to somehow follow here.
Oh.
Look at him, look at him, look at him, come on.
So, of course, Lasse then wants the honour
I can still log up here.
Yeah, you can, but I think...
of, despite the time penalty, still finishing ahead of Mike Rockenfeller on track.
Nice.
I'll wait a bit here, just to make...
Hey, good job, Lasse. I have no
Good
chance. Good race. Oh.
Old rivals back together again. Martin, how are you feeling about this race?
I'm feeling good. I mean, the pace seems to be great, but in this one lap race, literally anything can happen. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Just need to get a good start.
Liam, you missed out to Martin by a place in the last round. Are you here to make up for that and show him who's boss?
I will try to. Out of all the people that I wanted to meet in round one, it definitely wasn't one. So I'll try my best.
All right, good luck, guys.
History between these two as Williams Esports and Patrick Long Esports go head-to-head. Martin Stefanko and Liam Duvall, with Liam Duvall then the outside line around turn number 1, heading Martin Stefanko. And Stefanko then right on him, on board with Martin Stefanko, just trying to provoke an error from Liam Duvall, but an error is not coming currently. Pushing very, very hard here.
Nice slide.
Oh my god, that was a bad start.
Now carrying so much speed to the inside of Liam Duvall.
Oh god.
Sorry. Oh wait.
Thank you.
Well, Stefanko gives the place back to Liam Duvall.
Oh, Liam, quickly talk us through what happened there.
Come on, let's hear it.
I got it. Oh my car is dark blue. This is not nice.
Oh.
Whoa, Liam.
I can't drive the car anymore.
Oh, well, that wasn't me this time. Oh.
No, but my car is dark blue. It's damaged.
Oh, bad news there.
Martin, what happened?
Yeah, let's hear.
Yeah, Liam spun in front of me. And we'll see what happens now, but the time is not going to be good, so yeah, it'll be difficult.
Well, damage for the Liam Duvall car. Let's try and find out more.
Liam, is there much damage to your car?
Yeah, it feels really bad.
Okay, so can you be more specific here, Liam?
There's 2 areas on the right side that are dark blue.
Oh, that's a great shame.
What happened? What caused the spin?
Well, oversteer really.
Oh.
So the back just getting away.
So 148. Oh man, I'm gonna be lost in the next one.
Tricky track ahead.
Oh, tell me about it. Let's go, let's go. Good luck, man.
Gabby Chavez, Patrick Long Esports, Bruno Senna for Williams Esports heading into turn number 1 here in Sebring. The left-hander approaches and Gabby Chavez then away around the outside trying to get something of a slingshot.
Oh, I thought I was going to go completely wide there as well.
Well, different lines between these two drivers.
Oh, that first lap is such a nightmare, man, these tires.
So for the moment, Senna leading Chavez then in this 1-lap dash.
Don't overshoot the hairpin, don't overshoot the hairpin.
Bruno talking to himself to make sure that he controls the hairpin nicely. Turn number 7, which he does.
The bumps. Gabi, do you respect the bumps?
Not sure. I mentioned earlier on in the program, of course, the mix of surface here between concrete and tarmac can be unsettling.
Tell me about it. Oh, come on, don't do that to me.
Oh, hold on to it, Bruno. A big, big moment for Bruno Senna.
You know this isn't a drift championship, Bruno.
Yeah, I noticed, Nicki. But sometimes, you know, we get inspired by these things.
No, absolutely, and
At least it didn't spin, so that's a start.
not only inspiration, Bruno, but great entertainment for us as well. Onto the long straight now. Oh, and Bruno! What has happened?
This is so annoying.
Yeah, just a little bit as Chavez now leads.
What happened?
Let's hear it, Bruno. How did you get that wrong?
I ran out of talent, Nicki.
Bruno Senna.
This is unbelievable, man.
A finish is now.
Now.
P2 as Gabby Chavez takes the win.
Frank, how are you feeling ahead of this race?
I'm quite okay. I mean, the first round was not very successful, so I hope this one is going to be a bit better.
Philip?
Yeah, it's my first R Factor race ever, so don't know what to expect. I'm excited, and then we're starting.
Good luck.
So it is Philippe Deans then for the BS Plus competition. And Frank Bieler for Bieler Racing Team Euronics. And Philippe Deans, who has been involved in virtual racing, as well as real racing, but in virtual racing since he was just 3 years of age, and lives in Carmel, just down the road, of course, from Laguna Seca. Oh, and keeps it out of the Armco just as Frank Bieler continues to chase. Frank Bieler, of course, has been racing for 100 years and has been so successful. DTM champion, French touring car champion, BTCC champion, Le Mans, Sebring, you name it, Frank Bieler has been victorious. But at the moment, Philippe Deans is able to lead him. It's P1 for Philippe Deans, P2 for Frank Bieler. And, well, I'm tempted to say that the EX0 and the World EX Championship, it's like a well-fitting glove on the hand of Philippe Deans, who has got to grips with it very comfortably indeed and has a big, big margin over Frank Bieler. So behind the paddock here at Sebring, this fantastic circuit of some 5.89 kilometres. And of course these Q races, the one-lap shootout, gone just like a shot. And here is Frank Bieler doing everything he can to try and get on terms with Philippe Deans, but today just has not been his day. We are one turn away for victory for the BS Plus competition driver Philippe Deans, who wins ahead of Frank Bieler.
Congratulations, Philip. Great first run. And Frank, good luck for later.
Thanks a lot. Congratulations, Philip.
Thanks, guys. Good luck in the next one.
Alan, how are you feeling about this race ahead?
Oh, we'll see. Risto is a fast guy. I'll do my best.
Risto, Alan just said you're a fast guy. Are you faster than him?
According to the free practice, I think we're actually quite equal. I'll just, let's see until the first few corners, and I'll just try to keep it clean, and I won't push it now.
Alan Terzic then, and Risto Capit. Off the line, side by side, and into turn number one. With Alan Terzic then showing a clean pair of heels to Risto Capit. Currently as Risto gets all locked up and on the grass, but manages to get it back onto the concrete and pointing in the right direction, and he will try and put the chase on to Alan Terzic. So Alan then, as you can see, fighting hard with his controller, but it looks pretty comfortable. But right now, Risto Capit is coming back. So this one of the closest Q races that we've seen here at Sebring so far in this, of course, round two of the World EX Championship. Or you could just see the back end of the Terzic car looked a little bit loose, but Risto Capit then suffering with just a little bit of understeer, I think it was, going into that turn. So Alan Terzic, for the moment, maintains his lead.
Well, Alan Terzic, you're pulling away here. You've now led up to a second ahead.
Yeah, let's keep it like that.
Well, absolutely, that's what you'd like to do. Maintain that margin if you can.
Ooh, although having said that, he's gaining on you.
That was a poor lap from me, I'm embarrassed.
Good race.
Ah, yes, I mean, this waiting before the races, you forget how to drive. And this car is not easy to drive, so yeah, that was poor.
Exactly.
Luca Kita races for the Bila Racing Team Euronics, and Thomas Schmidt for Canoo Esports as they're side by side into turn 1. Now you can make it work around the outside here. So Thomas Schmidt then, has he just got the edge? No, Luca Kita, all they're side by side, a little touch between the two of them as they went in towards turn number 2. But Thomas Schmidt now with his nose in front of Luca Kita. So very, very close Q race that we're seeing here in Sebring.
Oh, that was close, huh?
Yeah. Very close, I would say, and very entertaining as well, but it's not all over yet. Oh, you can see the lockups coming thick and fast on the mix of tarmac and concrete surface here at the Sebring Raceway. Thomas Schmidt leading Luca Kita for the moment.
Thomas, Luca, you look like two of the most evenly matched drivers that we've seen so far.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard in front because the track is really bumpy.
I have to say, I agree. This really is a close race.
Yeah. Little drift challenge.
We like the drift challenges. We like some sideways action. So, Thomas Schmidt leading Luca Kita. Now, heading into this straight, which is where we are at now. Oh, well, almost a touch there from Luca Kita on the back end of Thomas Schmidt. He's in the draft of the Thomas Schmidt car. They're virtually welded together. Going into the right-hander now. Kita to the outside. Watch the bumps, gentlemen.
Let's see over the bumps here.
Well done, held on to it nicely, Thomas Schmidt.
Oh, yes.
Nice racing, nice racing.
Yeah, that was cool.
Well done, Thomas Schmidt.
Mickey, how are you doing?
Yeah, doing great. Looking forward to my qualifying battle.
Great, good luck for the race.
It's Hoyer for Absolute Racing up against TK9 eSpeed and Andreas Jochimsen as they head into turn number 1 here at Sebring with Hoyer ahead of Jochimsen for the moment. A long lap to come, of course, and just tenths between the two of them as they round turn 2 and into turn 3. So the concentration you can see from Mickey as he holds onto this extraordinarily powerful car. Andreas Jochimsen, though, following in his wheel tracks. There's almost contact between the two of them. Jochimsen trying to get to the inside as Hoyer gets on a little bit of a tank slapper there, the back end of the car, and here comes Jochimsen on the outside of Mickey Hoyer. Oh, and Hoyer again sideways, and that allows Jochimsen to go through. But Hoyer will not be done with this. Oh no, it may only be a lap long. And while some will tell you it's very hard to overtake on Sebring, this quali race that we're watching would prove that that is not necessarily true. Hoyer all over the back of Jochimsen. Now we're hearing from race control that the contact between Jochimsen and Hoyer, that Jochimsen was actually given the instruction to give the place back to Mickey Hoyer, which of course he has not done, and they're still racing for it here as Hoyer dives to the inside. Now the consequences of that could be that Jochimsen gets disqualified, which of course gives the P1 to Mickey Hoyer. Let's hear from the drivers.
I'm sorry for the little touch if there was one. I don't know if it was a kind of... yeah.
But I think race control asked you to give the position, but...
Ah, okay, yeah.
Now, sadly, due to technical difficulties, Pierre-Louis Chauvet not on the grid, so that means we can welcome the Absolute Racing driver James Yu from China, the Asian F3 single-seater racer out on his own, untroubled by any competitor alongside him. So he will, of course, go through. However, he will not go through without testing this car for a spin or two. And here are the results of our Level 1 qualifying sessions in full. Straight through to Level 3. Andre Dietzel, Martin Stefanko, Alan Terzic, Thomas Schmidt and Mickey Hoyer. To the last chance, Fabrice Cornelis, Liam de Waal, Risto Capet, Luca Kita and Andreas Jochimsen. Also straight through to level 3, Van der Linde, Rockenfeller, Chavez, Deans and you. And having to go again in level 2, the last chance, Alain Valente, Lasse Sorensen, Bruno Senna, Frank Bieler and Pierre-Louis Chauvet.
Well, that wraps up the qualifying of round 2 of the RCCO World EX Championship. But it's not over for these drivers who haven't made it through just yet. They still have one more chance to get to the quarterfinals in the last chance race. But for this round, they're joined by 2 more drivers on the grid, our wildcard entries.
Today's wildcard drivers are US resident Henry Drury from the UK and Denny Wenzel from Germany. Henry Drury is a 20-year young, London-born Briton who lives in Tampa, Florida, not too far away from today's location of the EX Prix of the United States. He is a racing driver who combines real-world with esports racing. After working as crew chief for the record-breaking electric performance Tesla racing team in 2020, Henry is planning a return to Pikes Peak in 2021, this time behind the wheel. He works for the ERA Championship, the world's first junior single-seater EV championship. ERA aims to launch its winter season in January 2022, focusing on bringing universities into teams to showcase the next generation of science, technology, engineering, mathematics world changers and their fight against the climate crisis, and thus perfectly in line with World EX and #Racing for the Climate. Denny Wenzel is currently second placed in the RCCO Esports Series, behind Mikael Niemas, who has to miss today's race for personal reasons. 34-year-old Wenzel has been one of the leading engineers at Volkswagen Motorsport, from working in Formula 3, in the World Rally Championship and the World Rallycross Championship. In the last 2 years, he managed the software and functions of the record-setting, all-electric Volkswagen IDR. In Formula 3, Wenzel worked with drivers like Max Verstappen. In his private life, he is a huge esports racing enthusiast and creates mods, especially racetracks. He started esports racing back in 1997 with the Ubisoft F1 racing simulation, and today has a dedicated room for his simulator. So both our wildcard drivers have experience in real-world and esports racing, and both have tackled the famous Pikes Peak on the engineering side.
Guys, hello to all of you. Give us a wave if you can hear me, but I want to have a quick chat to our wildcard drivers, Henry Drury and Denny Wenzel. Henry, how are you feeling about being entered as a wildcard driver into this championship?
Absolutely terrified. I'm nowhere near the pace of these guys, so I'm just having fun and enjoying it while I'm here.
Excellent. We love your honesty, Henry. Brilliant. The underdog. I'm going to be cheering for you. And Denny Wenzel, what are your thoughts ahead of this race?
Yeah, almost the same. I'm just happy to be here, to be in such a great field of drivers, and just try to enjoy and keep myself away from trouble.
That's what we like to hear. Well, good luck to the both of you and to the other remaining drivers battling it out to keep their place in the competition.
This is level 2, last chance and first chance to welcome our wildcard drivers Henry Drury and Denny Wenzel. They're on row 1. On row 2, it's Bruno Senna and Risto Capet, ahead of Frank Bieler and Luca Kita, who occupy row 3 of the grid. It's Lasse Sorensen and Fabrice Cornelis on row 4. Now, Alain Valente has been disqualified due to a technical problem. It's Liam de Waal, and then it's Andreas Jochimsen. Hold on tight as the cars are released then in this last chance race. Heading up towards turn number 1 now, a very packed grid of cars. They all jostle for positions going into turn 1. A great start from Henry Drury, who leads the race then, and Henry in that number 61 car, one of the wild card drivers, and everyone jostling for positions behind. Denny Wenzel, another wild card racer, he's P2. Risto Capet is P3. And then it is Luca Kita, who is P4, ahead of Lasse Sorensen and Liam de Waal. Then we find Bruno Senna and Frank Bieler. So through on the inside, a brilliant move there from Risto Capit on Denny Wenzel, so he goes through to pick up P2. And still, whoa, that's Luca Kita getting very sideways. He's on the gravel and on the grass and in the barriers. So Luca Kita dropping way down the order, so too Frank Bieler. So Drury leading from Risto Capit, then Denny Wenzel. The one to keep an eye on here, though, is Lasse Sorensen and also Liam de Waal, who have cut through this pack. And Lasse Sorensen is challenging for this P3 place and is pushing Denny Wenzel for all his worth and goes through a brilliant overtake on Denny Wenzel from Lasse Sorensen. And now Liam de Waal is all over the back of the Denny Wenzel car. So where can Liam de Waal provoke Denny Wenzel into making an error? Because Denny is chasing Lasse Sorensen, but in so doing, he leaves the door open for Liam de Waal to come through. And that sometimes happens when you're headlong in a battle and trying to attack. You leave yourself vulnerable. However, he is coming back at Liam de Waal. A little love tap between the two of them there. And further down the order, plenty of action going on as well. And in replay, that was the moment then that Luca Kita ended up in the barriers. There you can see, once you're on the grass, you are but a passenger. And that's precisely what happened to Luca Kita. So on to lap 2 of 3. The race being led by Henry Drury from Risto Capit. Then it is Lasse Sorensen and Liam de Waal ahead of Denny Wenzel, Fabrice Cornelis, Andreas Jochimsen. Then it's Senna, Kita and Frank Bieler, who's dropped right to the back of the order now as the WRT driver. Fabrice Cornelis with a great move there on Denny Wenzel. Henry Drury untroubled at the front for the moment, but Risto Capit and Lasse Sorensen are beginning to reel him in. So Drury, even though we're on lap 2 of 3, has not got this all done and dusted quite yet. There you can see the gaps between P1, P2, P3. It's Drury from Capit, from Lasse Sorensen. Risto Capit getting by Lasse Sorensen. And on board with Risto Capit now as he chases down the P1 driver. You can see just how you try and hold on to these cars through the challenging turns here at Sebring. Drury then starts the final lap. Then it's Risto Capit and Lasse Sorensen. This is not over yet. It's a three-way party for P1, although the vulnerable one is Risto Capit because he's hunting and being hunted at exactly the same time. Trying to keep on terms with Henry Drury, but also trying to keep Lasse Sorensen behind him, and that's no easy task. We know just how quick Lasse Sorensen is, but Henry Drury, wildcard driver, doing a brilliant job from Risto Capit, who now feels the weight of Lasse Sorensen behind him. And we can see from his rear view, being on board with Risto Capit now, the R8G Esports racer who's in that P2 position. He is feeling the pressure of Lasse Sorensen. But Henry Drury, has he done enough here? Around the right-hander. Paddock on the infield here at Sebring. Now the left-hander kissing just the apex. These three all handling it perfectly. You can see that Lasse Sorensen is still right up the trumpet of this driver, Risto Capit, that we're on board with now. He is going to have to try and have a go into the final turn, the double apex, turn 17, Sunset Bend. I bet he'll try and go for the outside. Yes, that's where he goes, but that could leave himself vulnerable to Lasse Sorensen. So he loses momentum, and sure enough, Lasse Sorensen goes through to pick up P2. Drury wins from Sorensen and Risto Capit. Well done, Henry.
Let's go!
In the last round, we saw an impressive drive by professional racing driver Lasse Sorensen and team TK9 eSpeed. And we caught up with Silverstone's winning team owner, 9-time Le Mans winner, Tom Christensen.
TK9 eSpeed and Lasse Sorensen proved to be a winning combination at the World EX season opener at Silverstone.
It was fantastic to see our young drivers, Lasse at the sim at the moment and Andreas scoring 2 top 10 finishes for us. and with Lasse winning the very first race and now leading the championship.
Lasse Sorensen, brother of the reigning WEC LM GTE champion Marco Sorensen, started his racing career in karting, moving to single-seater racing in 2012. He then became the champion in the French F4 Championship in 2014. 2 years later, he made the switch to touring car racing, securing the title of the mascot Danish Thundersport Championship in 2017. Since 2019, he's been competing in the European NASCAR Series.
I was born into a racing family. My dad was driving a bit for fun when he was younger, and my brother is racing for Aston Martin Racing. I got his go-kart when I was 3 years old, and then it really started off my racing career from there.
Sorensen is also no stranger to esports competition. In 2018, he founded the Real esport team in Denmark.
I've always been doing sim racing, initially for training for the real racing tracks, but lately I've been doing more and more esport races. Like last year, I finished second at the virtual Le Mans 24 hours race.
After the early success in World EX, expectations are high for more.
That's something which pushes the bar even higher for our expectations. And of course, the motivation is high at us. And certainly we also know it will be for the competitors. So it bodes well for the future. We are happy to be part, and we are very much looking forward.
This is level 3. Here comes quarterfinal 1. Philip Deans, Kelvin van der Linde share row 1. On row 2 of the grid, James Ewan, Mike Rockenfeller. To row 3 we go now, where we find Gabby Chavez and Henry Drury. And then on row 4, it's Lasse Sorensen and Bruno Senna.
Bruno Senna, that was a great recovery in that last chance race to secure a spot in this race. But have you got enough? Have you got the pace to get into the semi-finals?
I don't think so, but you know, starting from last place gives me a good opportunity to see everybody else doing their own thing, and then I can pick up the pieces, hopefully. So let's go, Nicki.
All right, good luck.
And away we go. Gabby Chavez into the side of Henry Drury.
That's a good start.
Thanks, guys.
Wow, 3 abreast, almost into turn number 1. Now the one to keep an eye on here once again. Well, Kelvin van der Linde out on the dirt, but look at this, Lasse Sorensen through the mire and the dust and everything else is alongside Mike Rockenfeller, and almost through on Mike Rockenfeller. He does go through. Lasse Sorensen into P2 after but a few turns. He just took advantage of all heck breaking out around him, and now finds himself being chased down by Kelvin van der Linde. I think that was Bruno Senna getting very sideways. He's managed to hold on to it. So Philippe Deans leads through him, Lasse Sorensen and Kelvin van der Linde. Now, Philippe potentially here could back Lasse Sorensen into the claws of Kelvin van der Linde, but of course he doesn't want to leave himself too exposed, and exposed at the moment he is. And three-way fight for P1 on only lap 1. Brilliant racing. Mike Rockenfeller resolute in P4. Big save from Bruno Senna means he's safe in P5. And then it's James Hugh, Gabby Chavez and Henry Drury rounding out the top 8 in this level 3 quarter-final race. 3 laps. This is wildcard driver Henry Drury at the back of the pack. Drives a Tesla on the real roads, and this, a great overtake from Lasse Sorensen that puts him ahead of Philip Deans. So Lasse Sorensen then goes P1. Philippe Deans relegated to P2, and Kelvin van der Linde is now P3. Bruno Senna has got by Mike Rockenfeller as well. Henry Drury's about to put an overtake on Gabby Chavez for P7. Now, at the front of the pack, Philip Deans goes back in front of Lasse Sorensen, but here comes Sorensen now, who's not happy with P2. And Philippe gets all locked up, and does that allow Lasse Sorensen to get alongside? Not quite. However, he is tracking now. Surely he dives to the inside of Philippe Deans. Lasse Sorensen has got the inside line for the turn, surely. And yes, he does. He goes through, and by my reckoning, for the second time of asking, picks up the lead of this race. And Kelvin van der Linde is encroaching as well. Now, you'll recall right at the start of the race, it looked like Henry Drury got sideswiped by Gabby Chavez at the start. Is that how you saw it, Henry?
To be honest, I don't really know. I went when the lights went out. I tried to go to the left. I'm guessing someone from the left-hand side came to the right. I've had technical issues, so I have no visibility to my left or my right, but I'm guessing Gabby tried to do the same thing from the other side, and we just met in the middle, so that's racing.
Pretty much how we saw it, Henry, as well, and good to see those replays. Now, Lasse Sorensen, Philip Deans and Kelvin van der Linde are about to start the final lap of this quarter-final race. And Philippe Deans, as you can see, is just as keen to keep on terms here with Lasse Sorensen. He hasn't got this all sewn up yet, so another lap to be done. And don't rule Kelvin van der Linde out of this battle either yet. So as they head in towards turn number 1 now, Lasse Sorensen from Philippe Deans, then Kelvin van der Linde. And talking of, Kelvin van der Linde is on the grass, is in the barriers, and now being projectiled across the track. And the car is on its roof, Kelvin!
Somebody went off there.
Oh man, I bent it.
Mate.
Bent it is right.
Hey, you were good, you had it under control until then.
Oh man.
Kelvin, what happened?
I guess a typical case of running out of talent there. Just wanting too much. I think I had P3 in the bag. I just really tried for P2, but I think the 1,000 horsepower is a bit too much for me.
Disappointing to run out of talent after only 3 laps.
Yeah, you said it. So I did my best. I mean, WRT gave me a great car this time around. The car was a lot of fun to drive, but yeah, I guess I need to not be so thirsty for more next time.
Certainly not, Kelvin. Don't change a bit, because as you try and nurse what's left of your car back to the pit lane. We love you just the way you are, brilliant racing driver Kelvin van der Linde, but boy, that was a move and a half. Lasse Sorensen leading from Philippe Deans and then Bruno Senna. Henry Drury, as you can see, is ahead of Gabby Chavez. And the checkered flag awaits for Lasse Sorensen, who's been chased by Philippe Deans the whole way, but it is going to be Lasse Sorensen who is victorious ahead of Philippe Deans and Bruno Senna.
Podium, Bruno, podium, see?
Oh yeah, boy.
Oh yeah.
Congratulations, Henry Drury, you made it through in 6th position. You are the last one of the drivers to get through to the semi-finals.
Wait, really? Oh, I had no idea.
Yes, really? You pleased?
Absolutely. I wasn't expecting. I thought that was over after the first lap. So yeah, over the moon.
This is level 3, race 2. Here is the grid for quarterfinal 2. Alan Terzic and Mickey Hoyer alongside. Then on row 2 for Nianco Racing, it's Thomas Schmidt and Andre Dietzel for TV Racing. Martin Stefanko is on row 3. Alongside him is Risto Capit. On row 4, it's Liam DeVol and Fabrice Cornelis. 8 drivers, 8 cars, 3 laps of Sebring. Good start from Mickey Hoyer. Puts himself ahead of Alan Terzic. Will that be the case into turn 1? Looks like it. Terzic then going to the outside. Midfield battle going on as Andre Dietzel tries to get ahead of Risto Capit and Thomas Schmidt and does so. Brilliant driving there from Andre Dietzel. Thomas Schmidt trying to come back at him now. So the fight for P3 as intense as the fight for P1. So Risto Capit on the back of these two, and there you can see just how close Thomas Schmidt is getting, and Risto Capit trying to take advantage as well. Little touch between the two of them here, and another touch, and that sends...
Sorry, I couldn't avoid that.
That sends Andre Dietzel into the barriers. What a shame, because that was shaping up to be a brilliant battle. Glad that I am in race commentary and not in race control. So there you can see. Let's take a look at a real high shot here. That would be a difficult one to call. Thankfully, we don't have to. So the order is now Hoyer, Terzic, Schmidt, Capit, DeVol, Stefanko, Cornelius, and Dietzel, of course, has gone from P3 to P8. And we haven't even completed one lap yet. So let's go on board the Martin Stefanko car now, chasing down Liam DeVall ahead. Whoa, good avoidance there, because that was very nearly all the way through the Liam DeVall car. So Martin Stefanko with good avoidance there. Now Alan Terzic has picked up the lead, which means that it's now Terzic from Hoyer, from Schmidt. And as you can see, Terzic is making haste his escape up the road. The Nianco Esports driver Thomas Schmidt running in P3 with a whole train of cars behind him as Liam DeVall gets...
Live interview mid-race, gonna love it.
What was that, Liam?
Hey!
Got way out of shape there. Not sure whether there was contact from Andre Dietzel at the back of him. From that angle was difficult for us to be able to tell, but certainly big time out of shape, and that means Liam DeVall now at the back of the pack and Andre Dietzel up to P7.
Oh, we stopped the track. Oh dear, no.
So, Mickey Hoyer doing his level best and pushing so hard means he drops down to P6 now. Expect some overtaking to come from him before the race is done. Alan Terzic then. His next challenger is Thomas Schmidt, and Risto Capit at the moment is preventing Thomas Schmidt getting on terms with Alan Terzic, because Risto Capit is fighting with Thomas Schmidt over this P2 place. I have to say there's something really appealing about the sound of these EX0 cars. This then is level 3. It is quarterfinal 2, and we are on board with the Martin Stefanko Williams eSport car. And yeah, you can see just how bumpy it is on this Sebring circuit. It's renowned for it, and is also renowned for the mix of surfaces as well. Some tarmac and some concrete and almost paved. And this is a brilliant onboard shot. Fighting with the steering controls to try and stay in contention and chase down that Risto Capit car, which is what we were looking at, that battle from being on board with Martin Stefanko. Alan Terzic then with a huge lead and undaunted and untroubled by anybody as he starts his final lap. Terzic from Schmidt at the moment. Then it's Risto Capit, who's got different ideas. Martin Stefanko and Fabrice Cornelis ahead of Mickey Hoyer and Andre Dietzel and Liam DeVall. So through the bend, kicking up the dust, through the chicane. Alan Terzic then on his way to the checkered flag. Still some corners to do, though, before reaching that. Though he has such a margin that almost expect him to break into song, as he is a keen guitar player, you know. Back on board now with the car of Martin Stefanko for Williams eSports. And there the Nianco eSports driver Thomas Schmidt, who's still able to hold Risto Capit and Martin Stefanko at bay. However, the multi-apex turn 17 awaits. Capit, it looks like it's going to go to the outside and try a long sweep around the outside. Terzic will win, but for P2 it could be one of 3 drivers.
No.
Oh, that's close.
The draft saved me.
Well, Mickey Hoyer, let's have a quick word, because you narrowly made it through there, securing yourself a spot in the semi-finals. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. But to be honest, pretty mad about this, because could have been, well, should have been front row start for the semi-finals, and it would have made it a lot easier to get into the finals. So now we need to put out some magic and see what we can do from 3rd row.
Excellent. Oh, well, good luck for that battle on your hands. Now, today's team of the month is Patrick Long Esports, the team that was formed by our early guest, Patrick Long. So let's take a closer look behind the scenes of the only American team in World EX.
Another prominent addition to the World EX grid before the season opener was the newly formed Patrick Long Esports team. Multiple sports car champion and Le Mans 24-hour winner, Patrick Long launched the team together with his longtime friend, Jeff Swoboda. Long was introduced to World EX by his longtime friend and former Porsche Junior teammate, Mike Rockenfeller, co-founder of World EX. By creating his own esports team, Patrick Long entered a whole new arena of motorsport.
Well, the World EX platform combines a lot of very relevant elements that were attractive to us, and the opportunity to partner with Patrick and bring on 2 top-rate drivers and be the American entry in a global series like this really had a lot of appeal to us.
The Patrick Long Esports team has formed a strong lineup for its first season. The team's drivers include Gabby Chavez, who is the 2014 Indy Lights champion, 2020 IMSA TCR champion, and multi-time race winner. He is joined by an esports ace, Liam Duvall.
Gabby's record speaks for itself, and he's competed at a high level in anything he's ever driven. And then with Liam, we have a driver that races in various sim categories around the world at a high level, and he really has a strong leadership position within our team.
When we hit the track at the Sebring International Raceway, it will be a bit of a special one for the only American team on the World EX grid. It continues with Level 4, the semi-finals. Here comes the grid for semi-final 1. Lasse Sorensen and Philip Deans on the front row. On row 2, it's Bruno Senna and Mike Rockenfeller. Then on row 3 of the grid, it's James Yu and Henry Drury. And Lasse Sorensen then from P1. Henry Drury got a really good start, puts himself alongside Bruno Senna going into turn number 1. Lasse Sorensen leads and 4 abreast. I'm not sure that's going to fit.
Whoa.
Oh no. Oh, someone just moved this straight across. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Worrying feeling that was me. If it was, I'm sorry. I think I touched the grass on the right.
Yeah, I'm done. Ah, man.
You can sense the disappointment from Mike Rockenfeller. Now, as we look on board from our race leader, Lasse Sorensen, here's Henry Drury out of shape into the side of Philippe Deans. Let's hear from our race leader.
Lasse Sorensen, you seem to escape that big crash on the first lap, and now you're putting a nice lead ahead of the rest of the pack.
It feels good out here. It feels really good. Calm and easy at the moment, so just gonna stay here for the rest of the race.
Job done. Lovely. Well, good luck for the final 2 laps.
Thank you.
Ah, my whole car is destroyed.
A different tone of voice from Lasse Sorensen and Mike Rockenfeller.
Ah, see, that's good. Henry, that's good. I'm still not in the final one.
Mike, where are you?
I tell you, I'm struggling big time to go on the straight. Ah, there you are. I'm sure you didn't see me, you know, I was in the...
Well, I just touched the grass on the right, and you know how this is on the bumps, so it just fired me to the left, so I'm sorry.
I was there, no problem. I think now you can overtake me again.
I didn't expect you to break that early.
Nicki, continue speaking to Lasse. Talk to him a lot, come on.
Yeah, keep talking to him. Preferably in the braking zones.
Which position, Bruno?
He's ahead of you.
I'm P3.
Oh, good. Don't worry, I will not catch you. So... maybe, Henry, you can pass me. I think you don't have to follow me.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
No, it's good, Henry. Go. My car is so bended.
This is fascinating.
I'm sure the stewards, they will watch this carefully.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I'll get plenty more penalties. That was just the first.
No, it's all good. All good. That's racing.
Well, there we have it. Lots of replays and lots of discussions about what went on in semi-final 1.
Lasse Sorensen, congratulations. You managed to secure yourself a position in today's final. Commanding race.
Yeah, it was a good race. It was pretty easy after the crash in turn 2, but from there it was all about getting a good time for the final, so we can start more in the front. So putting out a 1:38.1 here on the last lap was pretty good. So looking forward to the final there.
Level 4, the semi-finals, race 2. Here comes the grid for semi-final 2. On row 1, Alan Tursich and Thomas Schmidt. On row 2, Risto Capet and Martin Stefanko. And then on row 3, Fabrice Cornelis and Mickey Hoyer.
All right, good luck, boys.
Enjoy.
Good luck, guys. Enjoy.
Good luck, guys. Enjoy.
Good luck. Good luck, guys. Enjoy.
Enjoy.
All right, good luck, boys.
Enjoy.
Good luck, guys. Enjoy.
And let's go racing. Alan Terzic then with a good start. Thomas Schmidt tucks in behind, but now dives to the inside as Risto Capit tries to get up the inside as well. But a good start from Alan Terzic, building himself a margin of a couple of car lengths over the P2 driver at the moment. So this semi-final 2 here on the Sebring circuit. And on board with the race leader, the lively one is Risto Capit and also Martin Stefanko. So it's Terzic from Schmidt, Stefanko, Capit, Hoyer, and then Fabrice Cornelis. Fabrice Cornelis taking a look at Mickey Hoyer, and now Thomas Schmidt really taking a look at the P1 place, but sliding, managing to hold onto the car. Almost advantage Martin Stefanko at that point, but Martin Stefanko not quite close enough to be able to seize the opportunity that was almost gifted to him by Thomas Schmidt. So we ride on board with our race leader, looking back at the rest of the pack and doing a good job here in trying to build up a margin. Accelerating away. You can see it's a three-way fight for P2 at the moment between Thomas Schmidt, Martin Stefanko and Risto Capit. And Thomas Schmidt sticking his elbows out to deny Martin Stefanko the opportunity to come through. At the moment, 3 laps of the Sebring circuit to be done in this semi-final, which thus far is slightly less damaging than semi-final 1. So on board now, the real bumpiness of this Sebring circuit as you hold onto the car and just almost pray that you're going to make it around the apex of the turn. And now heavy braking as Terzic dives into turn number 1 and then accelerates out, and the back end of the car just letting go a little bit, but he's got it perfectly under control. He's got to contend this for the remainder of this lap and 1 more. And now coming under real pressure is Martin Stefanko, because you can see pushing hard here as we are on board the car of Risto Capit, then the RAG Esports racer. And Thomas Schmidt also under pressure, so this fight for P2 as Thomas Schmidt gets just a little bit of a love tap. Risto Capit could be the big winner here. We're on board with Risto Capit now behind Thomas Schmidt. And tries the outside. And Thomas Schmidt makes the car very wide. Risto Capit now, can he get to the inside? But that would become the outside for this turn. So he yields and goes behind the car. This is our race leader, Alan Terzic. And Alain doing a great job, and he's unfazed and untroubled by those that are fighting for that P2, P3 and P4 place behind. And there, Risto Capit right onto the back of Thomas Schmidt as Mickey Hoyer up to P4. There is the Risto Capit car. It's currently running in P3. Accelerating the unforgiving concrete barriers. Risto Capit all the way around the outside. You've got to be brave. The Nianco Esports driver Thomas Schmidt tries to hold on. If Risto Capit makes this work, it will be a brilliant move. Fair play to Risto Capit. He really stuck his neck on the line then, and it worked as around goes the Nianco Esports driver Thomas Schmidt, who now finds himself pointing in the wrong direction and almost nerfing the barriers.
Oh, I hope that's a penalty.
I'm just waiting what race control will say, but I think he turned in on me there.
I don't know. I think I have left the space, so...
Well, it was fun until it lasted.
Listening in to the dialogue then between the drivers. Race control.
Okay, you can wait now a bit.
See? Yes.
Race control will of course take their view on it as Risto Capit uses tarmac, curbs, sand, whatever he can. Alan Terzic way out front. Risto Capit P2, Martin Stefanko P3. Then it's Cornelis and Hoyer and Schmidt. That move around the outside from Risto Capit, I have to say.
I'm in the grass even.
No worries, I'm waiting.
It doesn't matter anymore, so...
Move of the race, in my opinion, Risto.
It's crazy how much action fits into 3 laps.
Yeah.
Well, drivers, you are over-delivering in terms of the action stakes. Alan Terzic then will head towards the checkered flag and take the victory, undisputed, from Risto Capit P2, Martin Stefanko P3.
Yes. Oh, I thought I was not going to make it after the lap 2.
Yeah.
Oh.
World EX has one clear mission: to help combat climate change. So do make sure you go onto our social sites to find out more. And in the meantime, let's take a look at some of the companies and projects out there looking to really reach the next level in their fight against climate change.
World EX is racing in the US for the first time today, the home country of Tesla and many other interesting EV projects. One of them is Canoo, a company with a skateboard-like platform architecture. Their latest project is a fully electric pickup truck, a segment very popular in the US. Canoo says it will open pre-orders in Q2 2021, with deliveries beginning as early as 2023. SEAT has launched an ambitious plan to make electromobility accessible to the masses. At their annual press conference, the Spanish company presented its Future Fast Forward project, which includes the development of an urban electric vehicle for the segment at around 20 to 25,000 euros. CEO Wayne Griffith also announced that the all-electric Cupra Tavascan will become reality in 2024.
70 years ago, we put this country on wheels. Our aim now is to put Spain on electric wheels.
Extreme E will finally come alive next weekend. From April the 3rd to April the 4th, the all-electric off-road series is set for its inaugural race in Alula in Saudi Arabia, one of the world's largest continuous sand deserts, promoting sustainability and the adoption of electric vehicles to help protect the planet, a vision shared by World EX. Fiat has partnered with UK-based startup Kiri, offering green coins to customers of their all-electric new 500. They will gain Kiri coins and benefits while driving based on the quantity of CO2 saved. Fiat owner Stellantis wants to empower the eco-conscious attitudes of their customers together with Kiri. Since its creation in 2016, the crew of the Sea Cleaners has continued to grow in expertise and structure. Their most stunning project, the Manta, a one-of-a-kind sailboat that removes pollution from the oceans. Designed to combat plastic pollution, the Manta boat uses various surface collection systems. The project also aims to change the way people consider plastic pollution. Let's move on to Level 5, the final. And here comes the final, with Lasse Sorensen and Alain Terzic on row 1. For row 2, we find Bruno Senna and Risto Capit. And then on row 3, it's James Yu and Martin Stefanko.
Hey guys behind, please don't knock me out. I'll just let you go and you can do your race. I'm just happy to be in the final.
Thank you.
We're not buying that.
So this red and white car is the one that I need to just go straight through?
Yeah,
Yes.
just, yeah. Just eat him.
It's the red and white one. Lasse Sorensen and Alain Terzic. And Alain Terzic with a good start. And Lasse Sorensen is going to get pushed into P2. As Alain Terzic around the outside of turn number 1. Then it's Risto Capit in P3. Bruno Senna and Martin Stefanko and James Yu at the moment, the way it looks. And Alain Terzic then, who will be the 2 drivers that will make it through to the one-lap shootout, the super final.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that oversteer, it's fine.
Oh, now I need to catch the group.
Buttons.
The oversteer is fine, just use the opposite lock. Easy for me to say. So Terzic then, Lasse Sorensen, Risto Capit, those 3 are beginning to break away from Stefanko and Yu and Senna at the moment, but we are only on the first lap of 3. And for the moment, Lasse Sorensen seems relatively comfortable in that P2 position and doesn't look to be troubling Alain Terzic. However, Risto Capit certainly is taking the fight for P2 to Lasse Sorensen at the moment. Risto Capit is in that P3 position, but you can just sense that he wants to get past Lasse Sorensen so that he can go after Alain Terzic. And of course, if he managed to put himself into P2, that would mean he would go through to the super final. So Terzic, Sorensen, Capit, and then Martin Stefanko and James Yu and Bruno Senna That's the way they look, the 6 drivers. So Terzic from Sorensen. And Terzic certainly not looking pressured at all as we put the first lap in the book of this final. And let's go on board with Lasse Sorensen. As all of a sudden now he does turn the wick up. Of course, winner of the first World EX round. Danish touring car champion. Not only that, European NASCAR champion as well. And as if by magic, a little NASCAR move then on the back of Alain Terzic. As he just gave him a little bump. And Risto Capet now being left behind a little bit by the top 2. And Martin Stefanko desperately trying to get on terms with the 3 of them in this level 5 final race. Ahead of the winner-takes-all shootout to come. So Terzic, Sorensen, Capet, Stefanko, Yu, and Bruno Senna in that P6. You can see the brake discs lighting up on the front of the EX0 car then of Alain Terzic as he tries to control the car and the force through the brakes to scrub off the speed. And the TK9 speed driver Lasse Sorensen could not get any closer to the back of Alain Terzic if he was painted on the back of the car. Desperately trying to provoke a mistake from Terzic so that Sorensen can come through, but these 2 drivers are so evenly matched.
Hearing Lasse breathe is an interesting experience. I can feel his G-forces.
Such a super combination. 1 pro driver, 1 esports driver, and they are absolutely side by side now as we're about to start the final lap.
Too much force feedback in it, you know.
And across the timing line they go. Who will it be? Terzic, or will it be Sorensen, or maybe Capet? Well, in about 5 kilometers time, we will find out who the 2 drivers will be in the 1-lap shootout super final. Don't rule Risto Capet out of this yet. Though, for the moment, Terzic has done a tremendous job in defending from Lasse Sorensen. But now Sorensen is going to fight to the very, very finish, and Risto Capet closes into both of them ahead. Sorensen, as I mentioned earlier in the program, about another driver is in this really unenvious position of being hunted and hunting at the same time. He can ill afford to make himself vulnerable to an overtake from Risto Capet by trying too hard to get by Terzic ahead of him. And you can see from the rear view on the dashboard that Capet is doing everything he can to put himself into that super final. But that red and white machine of Lasse Sorensen from the TK9 Speed is preventing him from going through to the super final. Along the Ullman straight now off the back of the Le Mans curve. They head up towards turn 17. Sorensen just took a look at the inside. Oh, and there's a little tap. They're both absolutely sideways, drifting around the final turn to cross the line.
Good race. It's so bumpy into the last corner there. It's
Lasse Sorensen, Alain Terzic, congratulations. Both of you have secured yourself a spot in the super final, going head to head. Lasse, that was a pretty tough competition though there. Couldn't quite pass Alain.
Yeah, he's very fast and he's not doing a lot of mistakes, so it's really hard to get past on a fair way. So yeah, but now it's up for the super final. That's the important one to win.
Well, there we have it. 22 drivers whittled down to the final 2. But now it is time to see those drivers go head to head in the super final. Now in the last race, we saw Alain Terzic take the lead into turn 1. Lasse Sorensen, can you do that on the return?
Hopefully I can do that. We have to see. It's all about how we get away from the line. So I'll do my best for sure. That's for sure.
And so all the drama drives us towards this super final, the one-lap shootout between Alan Terzic and Lasse Sorensen. And Terzic, well, it's like a carbon copy through turn 1, keeping Lasse Sorensen at bay. Lasse Sorensen P2, Terzic P1 at the moment. Oh, and on board with Lasse Sorensen, the splitter cam, giving us a fantastic view as he tried to get the better of Alan Terzic, but failed. He's throwing the car wherever he can. All the way around the outside, then dips to the inside through this chicane, but Terzic has got the better of him. Brilliant side-by-side, close, tight, fraught but fair racing between the two of them. One, of course, a supreme esports racer. One, of course, a superb pro racer. And there is hardly a millimetre between them. They are, and we are, racing for the climate in this brilliant RCCO World EX Championship. Terzic, Sorensen, and Sorensen is running out of time now to get the better of Alan Terzic. He will try, and he will not give up until the final turn is done, and that is approaching now. So here comes Lasse Sorensen. He's got this straight and one more turn to do. It is the multi-apex turn 17 sunset bend as he dives to the inside. Terzic on the outside. Sorensen heads for the line. And for the second time, wins a super final.
Congratulations there. That was a phenomenal race. Lasse Sorensen just about making that pass on Alan Terzic there in the final sector. Well done.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was a good, fair race. I mean, as we say in NASCAR, rubbing is racing, so that was a good, fair race, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's amazing to be a part of this championship.
It's that time again, Lasse, where we get to find out who has won the chance to take home today's grand prize. Now, last race, of course, we actually saw a fan from Switzerland win himself an incredible bio-hybrid bike. Congratulations to him, but now it's time to play again. And this time, it is for a limited edition PlayStation. Not just a PlayStation, though. Oh no, it has been signed by some top racing drivers, including Nico Müller, René Rast, Robin Freins, Loic Duval, Mike Rockenfeller, and Jamie Green. Probably some competitors there of yours, Lasse. Now, in my hands, I have two envelopes, and inside one of them it says driver, inside the other it says fan. I don't know which one is which. But Lasse is going to have to choose. And if it says driver, then he is going to have to answer 3 multiple choice questions to claim his prize. If in the envelope it says fan, then if you're watching at home, make sure you do join us in the after race talk on Twitch straight after the show to find out who that lucky fan is. Okay, so Lasse, I'm going to ask you for a second time because you got it wrong in round 1. Which hand and which envelope are you going to go for this time?
I'm going to do the same thing as last time. I'm going to say always right. So this time it's going to work 100% sure. Hopefully.
Whoa, 100% sure. He's saying always right. Oh, I really hope you are, because I'm going to feel a little bit guilty this time. Okay, so this is my right, which is this hand. And let's take a little look at what it says. Oh, inside. Sorry, Lasse, it says fan. I promise you I had nothing to do with it.
One day it's going to work.
100% your decision. By the way, I will, just to show that in the other envelope, it does say driver. I don't just have 2 envelopes, both with fat in. This is a fair competition, I promise. Right, okay, well, there you go. So you are not winning the PlayStation, which means someone at home, a lucky fan out there, will. So do make sure you stay with us, and we will be getting those questions across to you. Well, there we are. Let's say once again, huge congratulations. Thank you for taking part in the racing today at Sebring. It's been absolutely amazing to watch the competition. Mike, welcome back. Let's have a quick summary from you. How did you find competing in this championship? And I've got to say, congratulations, making it through to the semi-finals. Well done.
Thank you, Nicki. Well, I think it was important, for me to learn from the driver perspective how everything works. How the car is, how the racing is. So I learned a lot, and we will basically, use that to develop the car further and the format and the racing to make it, better and better. I really enjoyed it. There was some misfortune in the semi-final for me. Basically, in corner 1, there was a bit of a hiccup, and I got caught out. So no problem. I enjoyed it a lot, and I really had a lot of fun with those guys on track.
We love watching it. I particularly love the fact that you can speak to all the other drivers, not just while you're on the grid, but also during the race, while those incidences are happening, which of course is something that you don't get to do in real racing. What's that like to experience?
Yeah, it's not easy, I think, for one or the other, for sure. And this also will grow more and more, I'm pretty sure. And you see the characters. Some are more quiet, some they like to talk. I'm sure the sim racers, they don't like it all the time. The real racers are pretty much used to it. On the other hand, I think that's a very cool opportunity to get some insights for the fans. And some people even thought about it in real racing, which I think would be very funny as well. So I'm very happy that we have it integrated into our format.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? And just in terms of, I suppose from a spectator as well as a racer, were there any sort of big moments, any big surprises from today's racing that stood out for you?
Well, I think we saw a lot of good racing, for sure, some incidents, that's normal. A surprise in a way that Lasse again managed to win. I think that was really, really close. And all the others have to step up to make sure this is not happening all the time. But I think our format is crazy enough that we make sure he will not win every race. But he's very good as a real racer.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time, where World EX will be racing on the Sepang International Circuit in Malaysia. We absolutely cannot wait. See you then.